Welcome to a 25-minute practice with focus on the spine, flexibility and strength. Find yourself in a comfortable seated position, hands resting on your knees and the palms facing up, thumb and first finger together. A long full inhalation, settle the body. And as you exhale, calm the mind. Allow some gentle movements to float into your fingertips. And lift the hands away from the legs, palms together, thumbs drawing into the breastbone. Inhale. And as you exhale, set your fingertips forward of the knees and walk your hands forward and out. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, float forward and down, flattening your palms, bowing your head forward and down, lengthening your spine. As you inhale, lift again. Reset to your fingertips and walk across to the right side, the arms parallel. Anchor down through your sit bones. Inhale, and as you exhale, pull your spine forward and down, again flattening the palms. Inhale as you lift your chest. Walk your hands across to the left side. Your hips and your knees stay centered and forward. We've just brought a bit of rotation into the spine, and then we fold forward and down. Inhale. Walk your hands back out directly in front of the body. And then walk your fingertips in, tall spine. Place the hands behind your hips, fingertips pointing away. Lift your chest and your chin. Draw your sit bones strongly to the mat and lift the ribcage high. Reset your chin level. Now cross your legs over, and we'll repeat that same sequence again with the feet placed differently. Walk your hands directly out in front of the body. Inhale as you lift your chest. Exhale as you fold forward and down. And hopefully we've already found a little bit more space and movement in our spine. The bones in our back opening. Lift your gaze. This time walk across to the left side. Inhale. Exhale. Ripple forward and down. Inhale, lift your gaze. Walk across to the right side this time. Fold. Full exhalation as you lower the torso. Walk your hands back out in front of the body. Bring yourself back to a tall spine, the fingertips set behind you, facing away from your body. At this time, as you draw down through your fingertips, float forward onto your shins, lift the hips high, hold and breathe. I'm just going to change position so you can see how this movement comes. Fingertips set, lift the hips high, chin lifted, heart leading forward. Lowering back down. Now turn yourself to face sideways on your mat, and we'll bring ourselves onto all fours, knees under the hips, palms directly underneath the shoulders, a flat neutral back. Pull your belly button to the spine. Inhale, and then lower your belly button down. Lift your chest and your chin. Inhale deeper, and as you exhale, squeeze the air out of your body as you draw your spine high. Tuck in your chin. Inhale, lift your gaze, widen your collarbone. Exhale, arch your spine high like a cat, stretching. Inhale, lifting, lowering the belly button. Then pull the belly button inwards and upwards. Draw yourself back to a neutral spine. Turn your fingertips to face towards the knees, palms down flat. And then rock your hips back slightly. A nice stretch through your wrists. Reset the hips back over your knees, and now turn your hands over so your palms face upwards, fingertips still pointing towards your kneecaps, and rock the hips back again. Once again, resetting ourselves to all fours, palms flat, fingertips facing forward. Your front arm float high up to the ceiling, stack your shoulders and then thread that front arm underneath your back, lowering down to your shoulder, and then that opposite arm lifts high to the sky. Place your palm back down, unthread your front arm, all fours. Moving across to the opposite side. Inhale as you lift that back arm high. Exhale as you thread under, lowering to your shoulder, the side of the cheek touching your mat. Float your palm back down, push the mat away as you unthread, back to all fours. Now creep your hands out right as far as you can, and then bow your heart center forward and down. Creep the fingertips out a little further. Aim to keep your hips stacked over the knees. Your ribcage and your heart lowering towards the mat, like your spine is pouring forward and down, tailbone through to the fingertips. Then begin to lift the ribcage. Walk the palms back in directly underneath the shoulders. Tuck under your toes and bring the mounds of your feet together and also your knees. And walk yourself to a kneeling position. Draw in your belly button. Sweep the arms up high overhead. And then your front arm you bend, tucking the fingertips between the shoulder blades. Your opposite arm loop around behind your back. And aim to touch the fingertips. Perhaps you bind. Or maybe you need to grab onto the back of your t-shirt. You'll find one side of the body works a lot differently than the other. Reset both arms high, and let's swap across to the opposite side. For me, this side works a lot easier. I'm actually able to grab my fingertips and bind. Elbows drawing back, away from your shoulder line. Reset both arms up high, inhaling. Fingertips float forward and down. Flatten the feet flat, hips to your heels, walk your hands forward and out. Let your forehead settle to the mat. And hold and breathe in child's pose. Knowing that through our Vinyasa flow coming up, this is our go-to pose. If at any time you need to take a break, come onto your knees, tuck your toes, raise the hips high. Now let's walk out through our heels. So we lift one heel high as we lower through the opposite. Stretching out through our hamstrings. Bring your heels back level. Your front leg, step it through to the inside of your thumb, your front thumb, knee over ankle. Drop your opposite knee to the mat. Lift your arms up overhead, reaching high. And then drop your hands behind your head, interlacing your fingers, cradling the back of your head. Bring your elbows forward and then sweep them to the sky. Cradling the back of your head, bringing in a back bend and warmth in the lower part of our spine. Reset the shoulders over the hips. Open your elbows out, then reach your hands up high. Palms face forward, floating down. Push the mat away as you step back. Front leg to your back leg, hips high, downward facing dog. Now swapping across to the opposite side, and we'll repeat the same sequence. Sweep your hands high. Hands drop behind the head, interlacing the fingers, elbows wide. Inhale as you bring the elbows forward, and then exhale as you glide them to the sky. Hold and breathe. Reset shoulders over the hips. Open the elbows out wide, fingertips to the sky. Palms face forward, floating forward and down. Push the mat away. Stepping back, downward facing dog. Now coming through our driving cobra, our Vinyasa flow. Rise up to the balls of the feet, float forward and set your knees to the mat. Flatten the tops of the feet to the floor and lower chest, chin. Glide your body through, thighs connect to the mat, your heart lifts. Back to our knees, tucking our toes and raise your hips high. Front leg steps through again, inside of the thumb. Drop your opposite knee. Sweep your hands up high. Inhale. Exhale. Let the arms fall by the sides of your torso and then loop your shoulder blades together, interlacing your hands. Draw those knuckles down towards the mat behind you as you lift your chest and your chin. Reset shoulders over hips. Separate your hands. Sweep your hands up high. Palms face forward, floating down to the mat. Push the mat away as you step your front leg back to your back leg, hips high. Opposite leg sweeps through, dropping your knee, reaching for the sky. Inhaling. Exhale as the arms fall by the sides of the body. Inhale as you loop them down and back, interlacing your hands. Exhale as you lift your chest high. Hold and breathe. Shoulders again over the hips. Separate your hands, sweep to the sky. Palms forward, floating down. Stepping back, downward facing dog. Our driving cobra. Float forward up to the balls of your feet. Set your knees to the mat. Lower, chest, chin, the arms scraping the sides of your torso. And then lift your chest forward, leading through your heart. Back to your knees, tuck your toes. Raise your hips high. Front leg steps through. This time, keep your opposite knee lifted. Sweep the arms up high, our high lunge. Your front arm, let it fall back and wrap to the outside of your lengthened leg. Sweep your gaze back towards that back heel as you reach high with your back arm. Reset your collarbone forward directly to the front short edge of your mat. Palms float down, stepping back, downward facing dog. Opposite leg steps through, knee over ankle. Remembering, keep that knee lifted this time. Arms high. Your back arm begins to float down and we wrap that palm around the outside of your lengthened leg. Sweep your gaze towards your back heel. Reset collarbone, shoulders, front edge of your mat, floating down. Stepping back, downward facing dog. Now coming through our driving cobra, we're going to travel through this vinyasa a few times in a row. I want you to move smooth and snake-like. There's no stopping point as we move from one pose to the other, so in fact it becomes one fluid movement. Balls of the feet, the knees set, we lower, chest, chin, we glide through cobra. Float back to the knees, tuck the toes, raise the hips. Again, gliding through, knees set, chest, chin. Open your heart, knees, toes tuck, hips high. Floating forward, moving fluid like water. Lift your hips high, hold. Coming back to our walking of the dog, so we lift one heel high as we lower the opposite. And a lot more open, so we allow a little bit of rocking through our hips this time. And once again, level out your heels. Float forward. Set your knees to the mat and lower yourself all the way down. Arms by the sides of the body, palms down flat. As you inhale, lift your chest and your front leg. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, chest, back leg. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, chest and front leg. Draw your belly button into the spine. Lower. Opposite side. Engage your core as you lift your chest and your leg and lower. Now bring the mounds of your big toes together. Arms set by the sides. As we inhale, lift your chest and both legs together. Pull in your belly button. Lift your arms, fingertips reaching back towards the knees and then lower. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Your knuckles are heading towards your heels. I'm going to shorten that space. Focus. Inhale, lift your chest and your legs. Draw your knuckles towards your heels. Hold and breathe. Exhale as you lower. Separate your hands. Bring your arms forward and cross your hands and take your gaze to one side. Now focus on that warmth that we've created in our lower back, working deep into the connective tissue of our lower lumbar spine. Spread that energy through your body. Swap your gaze, turning your head to the opposite direction. Lifting your gaze forward, your arms back by the sides of the body. Bend both knees. Lift your arms and wrap your hands around your ankles. making it a connection, and keep your knees level with your hip bones, not opening out wide. Flex your feet. And then we're going to make a little bit of a connection that we're going to stand the soles of the feet to the sky or the ceiling. So I want you to really stomp the soles of the feet upwards. Exhale, lower, but keep the connection of your hands wrapped around your ankles. Focus. Strengthen the body, strengthen the mind. As we inhale, begin to lift a second time, giving your body permission. Lowering down, holding, keeping the connection of the hands to the legs. We'll draw up one third and final time into our bow pose. Stretching out through your feet, flex and point your toes, and then flex your feet again and draw them high to the sky. This time allow yourself to rock forward and back. This is a nice little way to work out through our digestive system. Bring yourself back centered and still. Allow yourself to release. Let go of your feet. Let your legs fall long to the mat. Reset your arms in front of you, one palm on top of the other. Turn to one cheek. Breathe. Turning your head in the opposite direction. Really important that we work through both sides of our neck by swapping our gaze. Bring your gaze back forward. Set your palms by your ribcage, thumbs in by your armpits. Push down through your palms to lift your chest, float back to your knees and cross over your ankles behind you. Walk down to your forearms. Then uncross your feet, tuck your toes. Float the knees high away from the mat. Walk the feet in towards your elbows. Your ears are level to the inside of the arms. Heels drawing down and back, but they may not touch the mat. Push down through your forearms and feel the length and space. Elongate your spine in your dolphin pose. Floating down to our knees. This time we cross the ankles. Got it right there. Walk to your sit bones and lengthen your legs out long in front of you. Ankles and knees together. Palms flat under the shoulder line. A little walk from side to side through your hips before you bend your knees. Flex your feet, sweep your arms up high, palms facing forward, and then lower your ribcage and down to your thighs as you place the palms under the soles of the feet, your toes connected to the creases of your wrists. Draw your chin in towards your chest. Keep your ribcage connected to your thighs, but pull back through your arms. Inhale, lift your gaze, keep your hands connected, and as you exhale, draw your chin back in towards your chest. Now lengthen out that front leg, calf muscle sitting flat to the mat, so your heel, calf muscle, thigh and sit bones drawing down strong. And we can focus on the lengthened side of our body with a deeper stretch. Bring that front leg back in. Set your heels together and then lengthen out through the opposite side. Inhale. Begin to lift your gaze. Lengthen both legs out. Lift your chest and your chin slightly higher. As you exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, lift your chest and your gaze, looking directly out in front of you. And this time as you exhale, let the hands fall. Wrap your fingers under the lower part of your heels. Or perhaps you place the palms flat to the outside edges of your feet. Push down through your heels, your calf muscles and both sit bones. Walk your hands in one by one, palms flat under the shoulder line again, tall straight spine. push through your palms to shift your hips forward. Wrap your hands underneath the thighs, hands to each elbow. Inhale as you sit tall. Exhale, arch and round your spine back, tuck in your chin. As we inhale, press the ribcage to the thighs, tall, lengthened spine. Exhale, round your spine, create space from your chest and your legs. Inhale, sitting tall. Hands wrap around the thighs as you roll all the way down through your mat as you exhale. Bring your arms out level with the shoulder line, palms down flat. Stack your knees over the hips, knees and ankles together. Inhale. And as we exhale, let your legs fall forward, knees and ankles together. Allow the legs to completely settle to one side and then sweep your gaze away from your legs. As you inhale, begin to lift the legs away. Exhale, knees over the hips. Pull your belly button into your spine, your lower back next to the mat, and let your legs fall to the opposite side. And your gaze moves away from your legs. Melt into this pose. Inhale, lifting your legs. Exhale as the knees set over the hips. Now your next inhalation, wrap your arms around your shins, hug your knees into your chest, and allow yourself to roll in circles through the lower part of your spine in one direction and back around in the opposite. On your very next inhalation, hug yourself into a tight ball, nose towards your knees. No little gaps of light showing through. Deep in breath, and then as you exhale, open, release onto your mat. The arms wide at the torso, palms facing up. Lengthen out one leg at a time, space between your heels and the toes falling away from each other. A long, full inhalation. Settle the body. As you exhale, calm the mind. Inhale. Settle the body. Exhale. Calm the mind. Inhale. Exhale. Begin to guide some small movements back into your fingers and your toes. And then allow those movements to widen, the arms and the legs shifting around gently on your mat. And then we begin the journey of resetting the soles of the feet to the floor. And then let your legs fall forward. And we'll also bring both arms to the same side, palms together, and take a really lovely moment on our sides. Move safely and carefully back to a seated position. Separate your hands and draw yourself to a seated position using the strength of your arms, coming full circle back to the pose where we began the class Sukhasana. Again, we set the hands to the knees, palms facing up, thumb and first finger joining together. Inhale and exhale. Hopefully feeling a very different sense at the end of the class than when we first began. So checking into your mind, acknowledging the practice. Palms come together, center of the chest. We inhale. And we exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing.